Hi guys, this is your math lesson for Wednesday, April 8th. We're going to go over your chapter review. Now it's really important, if you get anything wrong and you can't figure out how you got it wrong, you need to contact me either through email or text message so that I can help you figure out where you went wrong. So we're going to start with number 1. Now the first thing we do for numbers 1 and 3 was it asked us to count the full squares and then the partial squares. So I would say that there are 5 full squares. There are 4 partial squares, and remember what I said? I said to count each part as half. So 4 parts would count as 2, and then I would have 7 square units. Now, if you're anywhere between 6 and 8, something around there, if you're close to that answer, I would say it's okay. If you're way far over, like you have 12, that's way too many. So as long as you're close to 7 square units, then you're close. That's close enough. Now, number 3, it says, so that's a little, they're giving you really tricky ones here. Technically, there's only 2 full ones. And then there's about 10 partials, which I would count as 5. And then, so that would also be 7. Again, if you have 8, I would accept that answer as well, because remember, we're just estimating. So 7, somewhere in there. All right, now when we get to number 5, there it gets easier, because we don't have to do any more estimating. We're just counting the number of squares. Now, you could have done this 2 ways. You could have counted each one of those squares. Or you could have counted how many squares are on one side, which is 5, how many squares on the other side, which is 7, and done 3 times 7. I'm sorry, that's wrong. 5 times 7, see, I even make mistakes on the video. 5 times 7 is equal to 35 square units. So let me say that again since I messed up. It's cool. 5 on one side, 7 on the length. 7 times 5 is 35. All right, for number 7, it's the same thing. We look at the length, which is 8, times the width, which is 6, and we get 48 square units. All right, for number 9, again, length is 9, width is 5, 45 square units. Number 11, length is 8, width is 7, 56 square units. And then number 13, you might have missed it. It's at the very top of page 327. It says, describe a unit square. Well, that's saying in those pictures where they have not given you the length or the width, but they have the squares drawn, a unit square is a square whose side is 1 unit. So I'll write that down for you. It's a square with sides of 1 unit. That is a unit square. Okay? Now, that might sound silly. A unit square is a square with sides of 1 unit. You might be saying, well, why are we even talking about that? Well, because pretty soon they're going to ask you, what is a square foot? A square foot is a square with sides of 1 foot. So a square foot would have a side of 1 foot, 1 foot. That would be a square foot. And then they might say, well, what is a square meter? A square meter would be a square with sides of 1 meter. So this is a unit square, is a square with sides of 1 unit, because it's just a random thing they've chosen. All right, so that's part 1. I'll be right back with part 2. Hold on 1 second. Okay, guys, so we're continuing on now with number 15. Now, they make this sound so complicated because they say they want us to use the distributive property. Well, all that means is they want us to take, instead of finding the area of 1 rectangle here, they want us to make it into 2 rectangles. Find the area of those 2 rectangles and then add them together. So if I look at this rectangle, I have the purple rectangle, which is kind of like a maroon color in your book, is 3 by 7. So length usually we put the length first, so that would be 7 times 3. But we know that we can change those numbers around and it would still get the same answer. So 7 times 3 is 21. This rectangle is the same exact size. It's also 7 times 3. And then in order to find the total, we would add those 2 together. Now, they haven't given us a unit for this, so it would just be square units. So your answer should be 42 square units. Okay, so now we have number 18. This is where they give us a figure that is not a rectangle, and they ask us to find the area. Now, we can divide it into rectangles. If you divided it a different way than I did and you get the right answer, then you're okay. So this is the way I divided mine. I have this one piece, and I know that this is 9. So my purple rectangle would have a length of 9, a width of 1, and would be 9. Then my pink rectangle has a length also of 9 and a width of 2. And that would give me 18. Now this one's a little harder. So they give me the one side here, which is 4. But they don't tell me how big this side is or this side. So how am I going to figure it out? Well, I know that this total is 9. So I have to ask myself, I already have 4 here. 4 plus what is equal to 9? Well, I know 4 plus 5 is equal to 9. So this side right here is going to be 5. So now this green rectangle is 5 times 4. Sorry about that, friends. That's actually my alarm to remind me to take Ziggy out. I'll do that as soon as we're done this problem. All right, so I have 5 times 4 is 20. Now, in order to find the area, I have to add those 3 rectangles together. 9, 18, and 20. So I'm going to do that now. 9 plus 8 is 17. Carry the 1. 1 plus 1 is 2 plus 2 is 4. So my answer would be 47 square, and let's see, do they give us a unit? They do. They give us centimeters. So it would be 47 square centimeters. All right, so Ziggy, come here, baby. Come here. Oh. Say hi to the kids. Say hi, kids. I'm going to take Ziggy out, and then we'll finish checking your work. Ziggy's up a little over 20 pounds already. He started out at 13 pounds, so he's getting to be a big boy. All right, we'll see you in a minute. Okay, I'm back, friends. So we're going to do now number 19 and 20. You were supposed to have done 19, 20, 21, and 22. If you didn't do all 4 of those, pause and do them and then come back. Okay, so number 19 says a composite shape. So remember, composite means putting things together. If we're putting things together, if we're making a composite shape, we're putting 2 other shapes together. So a composite shape is made of two rectangles that don't overlap. So that means they're edge to edge. I've drawn a picture of two rectangles that don't overlap. It says the total area is 49 square inches. So if I add the area of this rectangle with the area of this rectangle, I'm going to get 49 square inches. One of the rectangles is 24 square inches. So now I need to know what is the other. So this is kind of like those part, and whole diagrams. In order to figure this out, you should have taken 49 and subtracted 24. And that would tell you that the other one is 25 square inches. Now, you'll notice I wrote the unit a little bit differently. We did talk about this before you left on this, whatever you want to call it, home school break. But you can also write square inches this way, inches with the squared symbol. If you don't remember that, don't worry about it, just write the word square inches. All right, number 20 tells us that they have 84 square feet of wallpaper. And they want to cover a wall that is 9 feet wide and 8 feet high. So what we need to do is find the area of this wall. The area of that wall would be 9 times 8, which is 72 square feet. And it says, do I have enough wallpaper? Yes, I do, because 72 square feet is less than 84 square feet. Okay, so now, number 21 and 22 tells us that they have a painting that is 28 square feet. And they want to know how many different sizes could that be. So what you need to do is you need to figure out how many multiplication problems you can do where the product is 28. So I would start with 1. I could do 1 by 28. So 1 foot by 28 feet. And that would give me 28 square feet. All right. Now, the number ends in an even number. So I know if a number ends in an even number, it's divisible by 2. So you might have to count by 2s, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, to figure out how many 2s are in 28. But I know that 2 times 14 is equal to 28. Now, if I go to 3, well, I know that 3 times nothing is 28, so then I'm going to go to 4. And I know 4 times 7 is 28. 5, no, that's not going to go into 28. 6, no. And now I'm back at 7, which I've already done. I wouldn't do it twice. I'm not going to do turnaround facts. So I would be able to make 3 different size paintings. And these are the sizes that I could make. I could make 1 foot by 28 feet, 2 feet by 14 feet, or 4 feet by 7 feet. Okay, so if you have any questions, if you can't figure out what I've talked about or you've gotten something wrong and you just can't figure it out, please make sure you email me or text me, and I'll see you next time.